Product not yet rated.
What do I hate most about England? So many things.
Being the very modest and extremely sophisticated Frenchman I am, I would have to say the weather and the food just don't cut it in this country.
I'll refrain, because if people watch this, I'll get hell out there.
What we do is we design all of the places that you get to visit in Fable 2.
We make all the tools that are used for the development of Fable 2.
The way we would design an area, this tends to be slightly different depending on the type of area it is. What we start with is the plan. Then what we do is we actually white box it, and that means we, in a very simple art package, we'll just rough it out, get our scale, make sure all the critical dimensions to ensure that the navigation systems will all work. And we do that fairly quickly in a program called SketchUp. That gives us a rough version of a region, which we can give to the artists, and they can take straight into their art package, and then they can make it look really nice.
This week we're having a bug blitz, which is something we do now and again. The reason for that is that ever so often the build gets a bit clogged up and messy, and we have some reliability problems. So this week we've decided to have everyone sit down and work through some of the bugs.
Unfortunately, Sam, you've come at a really bad time. We've all got major technical issues at the moment and can do no meaningful work. I can pretend to work. I do that all day.
Well, what I did at the start when I was asked to put the art style for the game together is I researched every aspect of the art of the game and made sure it was consistent with the design vision for the game. When we were doing the environments, what you've got to do is split up the environment team into architectural and organic for a start. There's definitely people that are more organic than others. Quite a few hippies on the team.
Well, currently one of the tasks I'm involved in with Fable 2 is foliage, and that basically means creating all of the green stuff that you see within the game. Any of the flowers, any of the bushes, I have some part in producing, essentially.
I think the distinguishing thing about the world of Fable is that there's an introduction of colour. If you look at most next generation games at the moment, though they're beautifully crafted, they seem to be awash with, well, grey.
The foliage and the local detail, as we call it in Fable 2, is very much more detailed. We're trying to go for a lot more on every front, really. So we've got a lot more different kinds, we've got a lot more different feels, and generally we've expanded the foliage as much as we could.
Well, you know, I work with mainly artistic people, and let's face it, they're never going to be satisfied unless they have one big red button that builds the whole game. So I'd say they are reasonably satisfied, but they're not happy.
I'm debugging the particle system and why at the moment the particles are really big and fat and ugly and they don't die out. So right now that's what I'm doing.
We do have fast travel now, and even just travelling on foot is different in Albion now. In the first game, the world looked amazing, but it was kind of frustrating because you couldn't go everywhere you wanted to go. Those restrictions have been taken away now. You can go everywhere now.
I'm fixing bugs at the moment. Some rather nasty grouping bugs in the editor, which I'm taking some serious investigation.
What we have here, we can see that this is the last month. The blue bars show us what's been fixed, and the red ones, all the bugs that have gone in. So the last 2 days we've had a peak there, which is good, which means people are fixing things.
The setting for the game, now that it's 500 years on, the idea was that we wanted to incorporate clockwork and get away from the medieval times and more into the age of highwaymen. It's always good to keep people on their toes when they're making the game. If you do the same thing again, it can dry up. We just want to keep everybody on their toes, especially the public as well.
Well, for instance, we want our regions to be very dynamic. So it means some quests will show you a region with certain modifications, and we also want to have seasons in there.
When we looked at inspirations for the game, we tended actually not to look at games and more to do with beautiful looking films, beautiful forest scenes. I mean, you've got all the martial art films that came out with a hero and what have you, with the swirling leaves going around the characters and all that kind of stuff. The thing with Fable 1 is that we literally had no idea how this game was going to be taken by the public, you know, whether anybody would actually like it. And this time we've got a better idea due to how people responded to Fable 1, so that when we're making Fable 2 we can take the best aspects of it and carry them on and fix the worst aspects and hopefully live up to everybody's expectations.